morning and happy Friday. Not only is it Friday, but today is our fun run, which is our big school fundraiser that we do. So it is fundraiser day. In the afternoon, we're gonna go outside and run for about 45 minutes. We do laps around the field at the school and the parents can come watch and cheer their kids on. But also, it's my observation day. I was supposed to have it yesterday, but unfortunately my principal was sick, so we moved it to today, which I did not sign up for a Friday, nor did I sign up for the fun run day. But as long as we're all on the same page about that before the observation begins, I'm fine with it. So let me show you what I'm doing for my observation. Also, I showed up and one of my teammates brought me my coffee and a little cake pop to start the day. So nice. All right, so I mentioned this last week, but what we're doing right now is we are kind of in between genre units. So right now we are reading stories and practicing some of the skills that we did during our realistic fiction unit. So I have been reading these little spot stories right here, the little spot of emotions, and we've been connecting right now. We read loved and we read anger, and then I'll keep adding like a little line of that color every time we go through all of them, and we're making a little book too that I'll show you. But also throughout the week I am reading some other books as well. So this week we're reading The Invisible Boy. So I already read The Invisible Boy once to my students, and we used, let me find it. I introduced some explicit vocabulary. These are from my book bunch. The words I picked are scurry, invisible, glance, and notice. We did some little actions for each one. I introduced and explained what they mean, and then we highlighted them as we read it in the story. And then we also made some text to self connection. So when have we felt invisible? What could we do if others feel invisible? And so on. So today what we're going to do, and my principal knows this is our second day reading the story, so I will kind of just quickly review a little bit about the story. I will review all of those vocabulary words, and then we will go over our objective today, which is to retell a story in order. That is something we are practicing in here, not just telling the parts out of order, but telling it in sequential order. So I was going to make cards, but then I saw Deanna Jump already had some for The Invisible Boy that are already ready. So these little picture cards here, there's about 8 of them, and I will go ahead and take my pocket chart and I'll flip it to the other side so we can do this all together. And then I'm basically going to read aloud each of these cards, and I'll shuffle them up so they're randomized. And then students will have to determine kind of where they think this part goes in the story. So they might say the middle, maybe that's near the end. And then as we get to each card, we might rearrange and shuffle them around to make the right order. Now, to help differentiate, I also have these exact same cards, and I do have another teacher in the room during this time, so she will work at that back table back there with a small group of about 4 students, so that way they can participate in the activity instead of the other students just kind of shouting out. This way they just need a little bit more processing time, so this way they can do that together with her. So that's this slide right here. I'll go over each of the pictures. There's 2 more than this too. So this part's going to be us kind of doing it together and talking about it. Then students are going to practice doing this with a partner with our 5-finger retell. We have practiced this before. So our thumb, we mentioned the characters. Number 2, we mentioned the setting. And then we say what happened first, next, and last. And since we just did it with the cards, this should be an easy scaffolded way for students to remember exactly what happened in the story. And then I mentioned this before, but instead of just doing like a turn and talk, I like to have students do stand up, hand up, and pair up, because at this point they've been sitting on the rug for about 10-15 minutes. So I want them to stand up, they put their hand up, and if their hand is up, that means they're looking for a partner. So when they find that partner, they give a quick high five, and then they'll do the 5-finger retell. When they're done, they will turn away from each other, hand up, and go find a new partner. So we will all do that. And then last but not least, we will go into our independent reading centers. So that part should take about 20 minutes. During the reading centers, I always like students to respond to the text. So here we have the exact same images without words. They are each going to get a copy of this as well as a sentence strip. And this is where they're going to do this independently. So I'm going to see if after all that scaffolding, if they can also put the events in order on a sentence strip, and then they will turn that in for me. Once they are done with that on their own, they will then know to go to this next box, which is Seesaw. I have a bunch of these read and match. These are actually going in the Literacy Club for next month. I have a bunch of these for different skills. All they have to do is decode the word. So these ones are all short E. I have 2 pages for it. So they'll decode the word and then drag the matching image to the box underneath. If they still have time and they complete that, they can go to Epic today. And then during this time, I meet with 2 small groups. So I have the same slide twice, but there's some students' names here. And on the next slide is the other group of students with a 10-minute timer. And she's also going to watch me do my small group literacy lesson, which I explained about in a couple of videos ago. So that's new to me. So I want to, test it out, see how it goes. So yeah, after our stand up, hand up, pair up, I do have to remember to kind of close it out and just remember to ask them one more time why we need to tell our stories in order, so it makes sense. And so we're not just giving jumbled little things all over the place. We need to tell it in sequential order from beginning, middle to end. So that is my lesson. Wish me luck. I will check in at the end of the day and let you know kind of how it went. And what observations look like at my school. I know they're different for everybody, but she should be in here for about 45 minutes. So wish me luck. Hello. It is Saturday. It's clearly the next day from when I last talked to you. I mentioned yesterday, I talked about my observation, so I wanted to let you know how that went, but I wanted to show you real quick something I got for my team. This upcoming week, we have conferences. So we have 2 half days, and a lot of us are starting conferences on Monday morning. To kind of get some done throughout the week. Sorry, I think my face was cut off, but that's fine. So I wanted to just get them a little pick-me-up. We've had a lot of meetings and a lot of stuff going on lately. So there's this place called the Candy Dish near me, and it is like a chocolatier, and they have these delicious caramel and chocolate apples. Look at how cute. They are so cute and so delicious. So I got one of these for each of the other teachers on my team, as well as the aide that works in my room and the special ed teacher for first grade who works very closely with the team as well. So I got one of them. I'm going to print it like a cute little tag. I'm not good at like puns or any of those cute sayings, so I'll look something up and then I'll type it out and I will put it on their desk for Monday morning. Sorry, I had to put those apples back because my younger son kept eyeing them, and I knew that if I turned my back on them, they'd probably be gone. You might also hear a bunch of Mario sounds in the background. The new Mario game came out yesterday, Mario Wonder. So the boys have been playing that a lot, which is fine. We did play soccer. Here's proof. Proof of rainy day soccer to show that we were outside. We ran around. I also volunteered at the pumpkin table for the pumpkin festival for our community and school was running. So they had teachers sign up for like 30-minute slots. So me and a friend went and did that, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, what was I telling you? Oh, I wanted to tell you about the observation. So I told you my plan for the observation, and I explained how we had a pre-observation meeting and we just kind of walked through what the lesson would look like. So during the lesson, I always think it's interesting just to find out like how other schools do it. I've worked for a few different districts and we've done observations different ways depending on the principal, the administration, the expectations, and everything. So essentially my principal came in during that time. She was in for about 45 to 50 minutes. So again, she observed my read aloud lesson and then 2 small group lessons, which was great for her to see because I took those small group training sessions and this was like my practice with it. So we'll see how that goes. But when she was in there, she essentially told me, and I already got the notes back, that she just like scripts out everything that's going on. So it'll be like 10:05, Susan said this. Student XYZ did this. Students listened attentively on the carpet. Just kind of everything listed out. She'll even note things like when other teachers are coming into the room and if they're asking for a student and they're getting pulled, or if a teacher's coming in the room to help and what they're doing, and just everything is kind of scripted out. It's funny to read because I realize I say good job a lot, which is something I'm working on. I know good job sounds great, but I know I've actually spoken about this, I believe, in a video before, and you want your feedback to be as specific as possible. And I say good job like way more times than I thought I would. So instead of just saying good job, I would like to say, thank you for doing this, or good job at doing this, just to give a little bit more specific positive feedback. So that's something I noticed. So it's just scripted. There's no notes on it yet. On Monday, we will meet during my prep time, so I'll check in after, and we'll kind of go over it, and then she also put 4 reflection questions at the end too, like what was the objective of the lesson? If you were going to teach the lesson again, what would you change? Just some things for me to kind of think about. So I'm going to think about those this weekend, probably write up a couple notes so I have them when I meet with her. And yeah, so I think it should be interesting. Monday I'll meet with her and we'll go over it and she'll give me specific feedback. We can talk about ways that I can change my practice as needed. Hopefully some things I did well. I would like to hear that. But yeah, so we shall see. I'll keep you updated on Monday with that. It's currently about 2 o'clock on this rainy Saturday. My family's coming over in a little bit to watch a family movie. So right now I'm just gonna hang for an hour. I just made myself a nice cappuccino in my little Winky mug. So I'm going to drink that, and I'm also going to put some of the finishing touches on the outline of my presentation for the Educator Summit. I've mentioned it a few times, but I am talking all about powerful writing strategies we can add in K through 2 to kind of make them more proficient writers. So there's a lot of stuff I'm doing on a daily basis in my classroom that I think is really working and I'm really enjoying. So I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I'm doing day to day, as well as some like overarching things that I think we should do as well. So I'm putting the finishing touches on that outline. This is what the summit kind of looks like, and I will always have it linked down in the description until it begins, until I can't sell tickets anymore. So that will always be linked down there in case you want to check it out. Other than that, I'm going to enjoy my weekend, and I will see you Monday after I meet with my principal. Good morning, happy Monday. Actually, this morning I have my very first parent-teacher conference. So I do want to kind of talk to you about what those are looking like. Most of mine are on Thursday and Friday of this week. We have half days both of those days, but I also put some slots for throughout the week in the morning since I'm here early to kind of spread them out a little and give myself a little breathing room on Thursday and Friday. So I will print out a blank copy of kind of what those look like. I'll take out like a student's name or show you what that looks like, what I plan on doing for the parent-teacher conference. And then I also have my post-observation today during my prep time with my principal, so I can let you know how that goes too. I ordered a full class set of these Reckon Racks. They're like mini wooden ones that I am super excited about. I just feel like my class needs a little bit better handling on number sense. So we are going to kind of use these as a warm up. I think I'm going to start using them today. So I will update you and let you know how that goes. Also, my own two boys come to my class at the end of every day and they eat a bunch. So I always I have goldfish, granola bars, and some like applesauce pouches and stuff for them to have, because if you have kids of your own, you will know that they are like starving little angry monsters at the end of the day. So if I have to finish anything up, I at least have snacks. Also getting some stuff ready for Halloween. This is for this week, so I can kind of just put it up on the door. Halloween is going to be a very fast day because we have a Halloween parade in the morning. Then we have our Halloween party before lunch. We're kind of doing like a boo breakfast situation. And then really we just kind of have math time, specials, and then writing. So for math, I found this free edition Around the Room from Natalie Lynn Kindergarten. It was on TPT, so we're gonna do that. I also have my skeleton game with Q-tips that I wanna play. I love this game. I did a whole video about it here. You can see, I'll put it up on the screen. All you need is some Q-tips, and it's like a subtraction strategy game, so we're gonna do that. We've been reading all the little spot books, and I found this little spot on Halloween, a positive story, or a story about positive pumpkins, so we'll read that. And then at the end of the day, instead of writing, we might do a writing along with it, but I made these last year in Calvin's class, and they were really simple and easy and adorable to take home. So we are going to make these at the end of the day during our writing time. Oh, I lied. I forgot I printed these, which I'm so excited to do now. Of course, I've seen these like forever, but I never did one when I was in the classroom. So this Halloween, Mrs. Jones should be, and I printed out my little face. So I forgot on, I might do this actually the day before Halloween, just because it's like a fun little writing activity. So I might do that the day before. I might do it during my win time and have them kind of fill out what they think I should be and decorate it. Okay, so these are basically the two forms I'm using. I took out all student name and information, but these are the four kind of social emotional learning quadrants we are grading on in the report card. And since it's only October, we've been in school for about 30 something days. mostly parents want to know kind of how well they are adjusting. So I picked at least one of these like learning skills that every single student can improve upon. Even if they're doing great at all of them, I always picked at least one. So for this student, I said using time effectively, and I'll explain a little bit more about that during the conference. And then this is the form where we kind of go over a little bit more information, and I did it in terms of glow and grow. So blank is a kind friend who gets along with others in class. She's always following the rules and directions and is a great partner during group work. Blank is also doing well in math, specifically with number sense and addition. And then for grow areas, I just have areas that this student is working on. So they meet with the teacher for small group literacy and phonics to bring her up to benchmark. So we'll go over the benchmark scores that they just did. She's working on reading and writing CVC words accurately and with automaticity, and she's also working on adding more details to her writing. And then I always have a little spot for like next steps. So blank will continue to work with Miss S during small group literacy and small group writing to strengthen her vocabulary and phonics skills. We will also continue to monitor her progress to ensure she's making adequate progress. Probably could have taken out progress and progress, but I did this for each and every child. So I have highlighted, like I said, the areas that they need to work on. Some have more than others, but everybody has at least one. This is a space I'm giving them a pencil. If they have any questions or comments, they can write it down here, or if they want to follow up with me later. And then again, this is the sheet that we'll kind of go over, and I have a few little assessments that I'm going to share with them. Hello, I am home, I'm pajamaed, and I am sitting in my office. I feel like you always see me in the same two places, which is mostly in my classroom or here in my office. And that's because that's probably where I spend about 90% of my life. And everything I do is local. My school's local, so I don't really spend too much time in the car. So unless I am, out and about watching them do sports or something, this is where I am most of the time. I wanted to check in with you because I told you I would share about my post-observation. So I had that during my prep time, and that went great. So I think I had already mentioned how my principal kind of scripts out everything. And there's like things I say that I didn't know I say all the time. So that's pretty funny to me. And then she kind of goes in afterwards and she like labels things to use as evidence when she is saying, like making a claim about my observation. So if she said, my lesson was engaging, she would have different areas in which I tried to engage the students, or things I was doing. If I was scaffolding, if I was, using attention grabbers, whatever they are, she kind of labeled them throughout. So it's a really nice document to have looking back. It's so thorough at your own teaching to even just, like I said, I already read through it once and I was reading through it again right before this and just kind of highlighting all the things I say and do that I don't even think I'm saying or doing, So it was pretty good and I got a great rating. So I feel pretty good about that. I was thankful for the feedback. And again, it's been a few years since I've been teaching full time. So it was nice to, get the rust off and teach in my class again and be told that I was doing a good job. So that always feels good. I am very appreciative for that. So if you're looking for a little lesson to do for an observation and you're going to do it during your read aloud time, you can pretty much do a lesson like that for any book. So grab a book, pick some vocabulary from the book, try to find some little images or search online. I'm sure there's plenty where students can go ahead and sequence it and then, scaffold it. We can do it together like we did, whole group. Make sure you do the we do part where I had students like standing up, they're talking to each other, they're retelling it, and then go ahead and do it independently. So that's how that went. And then the small group part was a challenge for me. Not a challenge in that it was hard to do. I mean, like a challenge that I wanted to do that for my observation because learning that new kind of sequence of how to do events was something that I had training on and wanted to see how I was doing there. So that was good. I feel good and like I'm ready to go for the next couple. I actually have 4 observations. I don't know if I told you this already, but I have 2 that are planned and then 2 that are unplanned. So I'll have another planned observation coming up next month. If you guys want to know what I'm doing for that, just let me know down below. I don't know what I'm doing for that yet, but I mean, when the time comes, I can definitely share. And then the 2 unplanned observations are just a lot quicker. She said she comes in for about 20 minutes or so and just kind of types up what's going on. We don't do like a full, here's the layout of the lesson, this is like the plan. It's just kind of a see how things are going, type it up type thing. I also told you I have a bunch of parent-teacher conferences this week. That's kind of my plan for the rest of the week. I have 90% of those glow and grow sheets done. I have 2 more. What I did is I scheduled out my conferences in order first based on when they're coming, and then I filled them out in that order so I knew I'd be ready to go. So I have 2 more that I'm not doing until, hi silly, so sorry to interrupt. So I have 2 more that I still need to do that I'm actually not even meeting with until Friday, kind of later in the afternoon. So in the meantime, tomorrow after school, I get to go to Theo's school and have his parent-teacher conference, which I'm excited about. And then on Thursday, I have Calvin's. So I get to do everybody else's parent-teacher conferences and go to my own kids. So it'll be a fun week. I don't know if you're interested at all, but I will go ahead and leave those little glow and grow sheets down in the description. I just kind of added a little clip art to it. I made it pretty basic. Like I said, the idea is not mine at all. I just borrowed it from a 2nd grade teacher. She had a little bit different wording, and so I just kind of reformatted it, and I can totally share those with you. They do help even just to kind of write notes, even if not for conference time, but just as a little send home if you wanted to, like I did with those emails, earlier in the year that I mentioned. So up to you. But like I said, I figured I would offer it as an option down in the description. So in this video, we really talked a lot about my observation as well as some parent-teacher conference ideas and what I plan to do for the rest of this week, just as a little sneak peek of what's coming the next couple weeks. In next week's video, I really want to focus on math. I invited my math curriculum specialist to come in and teach a lesson, and it was so much fun. And I really got kind of reinvigorated to teach math because I've been struggling with this program, Math in Focus, that we use. I've just been struggling to make it fun because again, I'm still trying to figure it out. Watching her lesson made me excited again to teach math. So I want to talk about what I'm doing in math next week. And then the week after that, I want to share small groups. So I know a lot of you have asked, and I said I wanted to kind of give it a little bit of time so I figure out the kinks, but I want to share with you what I do during small groups, how I run small groups, how many groups I have, and then how it kind of ties into my win block, because we go right from our reading group time to the win block. So next week will be about math. The week after will be all about our win groups and reading groups. And I think you'll like that. Let me know down in the comments if that's something you're looking forward to, but I think that is what people have asked for many times before. So that is kind of how the next couple weeks will be structured. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.